Hello everyone who is watching our YouTube live stream or the recording of this week's growth call. Okay, thanks Gus. Thanks Michael. I'm Christoph Atteneder and I'm your host today. As always, I posted the Google Hangout invite link in the chat next to the video, so you can join us here in the Google Hangout, or you can just watch the live stream on YouTube and post any questions or just say hello in the live chat. Yeah, and I see that you use the live chat already quite a lot. Thanks as always to Chris Sacher for writing the meeting minutes after the meeting. And today is again a very special growth meeting, as we'll talk about the US dollar liquidity week, which ran last week, and we'll have a look together on the outcome today. I'm also very happy to have Felix today as a guest, and who had actually the original idea to run our first liquidity week last year, which was also a great success. So happy to have you here, Felix.
Thanks, I'm happy to help.
For everyone who is joining us for the first time and maybe don't know what Bisq is the only real decentralized fiat cryptocurrency exchange out there. So you can exchange national currency like the US dollars with Bitcoin, but you can also exchange cryptocurrencies with other cryptocurrencies. Our growth calls, like the one today, are about exchange learnings on how to grow the Bisq network itself. We decided in December last year to focus for the next couple of months on growing especially liquidity on Bisq. What we mean with that is to increase the number of buy and sell offers available on the platform. As today's call is about the US dollar liquidity week, I want to explain really quickly what we mean with liquidity week. So it's 1 week where everyone who is participating tries to have one buy and one sell offer available all the time to push a market. And last year was a US dollar Bitcoin liquidity week. Everyone who participates not only supports decentralized exchanges like Bisq, but also receives 20 Bisq token on top as a reward. The Bisq token has different utilities within the Bisq DAO, which will be released within the next couple of months. You can vote with a Bisq token, you can transfer it, so you can buy, sell it, and you can pay trading fees with it. So if you do want to know more about the Bisq DAO, there's the white paper mentioned already a couple of times, or now you can also watch our first tech session with Manfred Karrer and Chris Beams. They talked also a lot about the Bisq DAO and the general tech setup of Bisq. It's really worth have a look at. And I'll post the links in the description below after the call. So today, before we get right into the outcome of the US dollar liquidity week, I just want to say thanks to everyone who actually participated. It was really a joint community effort from you all. And I'm actually really excited to have now a look at the numbers. So I will start sharing my screen now. It will take a couple of seconds. So just go on full screen, present to everyone. Is everyone seeing my screen now? Perfect. Okay, let's get right into it. So let me quickly have a look at the notes. So we saw in total 81 trades last week, which split up into following payment methods you see on the screen. So nearly half of the trades were made with sell. This sounds like a lot. And of course, yeah, it is a lot. But before we ran the liquidity week, it was just nearly only sell trades. So I would say 95% roughly. Now, a quarter of the trades are already made with Cash App. And similar to Cash App, Venmo and Revolut also have really fast settlement times. So they were also under the most popular payment methods during this week's growth call. So just for if you haven't, if you don't know it, before we ran the US dollar liquidity week, we released a new version introducing, I think, 7 or 8 new payment methods, and it really paid off. As for example, Cash App, Venmo, Revolut were there for the first time, and also we saw for Chase QuickPay and Uphold also one trade. I think the only payment methods we introduced which didn't see any trades so far is Pop Money, and also we enabled national bank transfer for the US as well now. So give it a try if you want to try it out. Let's go to the next slide. So on this slide, I've split up the offers taken and the US dollar volume in general. So we can say it was the US dollar liquidity week was a big success. We doubled nearly everything. So we more than doubled everything. For example, if you look on the offers taken on the left side, we see a big shift in distribution. So that looks in the beginning there were mainly sell offers and only some buy offers. And during the liquidity week, it was nearly not 50-50, but very close. This might be also an effect that everyone who participated tried to have one buy and one sell offer available all the time, of course. But having this buy offers available not only made it a very fast trading experience for people who just want to buy Bitcoin, but also for those who want to sell it, as there were for either side there was offers available all the time, and they were picked up quite quickly as well. So, and the other bars on the right side, the US dollar volume growth looks kind of similar. So we more than doubled the volume, which was really a success and a surprise for me. When we ran the Euro Bitcoin Liquidity Week last year, in the end, after calculating out the general market growth, it was, I think we had 15% growth or 30% growth, and that we doubled volume was really actually blew me away a little bit. So maybe we can, so even if we do what I just mentioned to calculate out the general growth of the market, if we try to do this for US dollar as well, of course, we can't do it very super exactly, as we don't have control groups per se, but we can take again, in that case, the Euro Bitcoin market, and look at the growth there. So in the Bitcoin Euro market, on the volume, we saw an increase of 6%, and in the number of trades, we saw an increase by 26%. But still, if we take this growth off the numbers from the US dollar liquidity week, we have more than 120% on growth on the volume, and on the offers, and 82% growth on the total volume. So it was a huge success. On the chart below, on the screen, you can see the chart comparing the volume US dollar and the number of trades, all just for the US dollar Bitcoin market. And the blue bumps in the end, it's quite easy to spot out when the liquidity week ran. So of course, it's not just about 1 week to kickstart a market. It needs longer effort. So the interesting part we might see over the next couple of weeks, or we have to see, is if the market stays as liquid as during the liquidity week. And I have the numbers from Monday until Wednesday, and I compared it to the days before the liquidity week, and still we see, I think it's 50% more volume and 30% more trades. And at the moment, so if I would have taken today as well, it would look even better. So it was a real success. Yeah, what now? It was a great start, as I mentioned already, but it really needs you continuously. Please continue to trade also on the US dollar Bitcoin market to keep the momentum going. Also, before we continue talking about the learnings of the liquidity week, I just want to point out, and for everyone who participated, please don't forget to claim your Bisq token reward before the next voting period. So we vote every month. The next voting period is from the 1st until the 3rd of April. And it's actually quite easy to claim your reward. So you did a really great job. And it's just fair that you take your Bisq bounty. I will just explain quickly the steps, what you have to do, and then I will show on my screen where you have to put the compensation request. So first, if you don't have a GitHub account, you will need to create a one. It's really easy, straightforward process. I will, of course, add all the links after the call. And then you have to go to the compensation repository. I will just stop sharing of the screen, and I will start screen sharing again. This time, browser. Let me see. I think. Let me just quickly switch. That's the monitoring. Yeah. So let me just see if you can see my screen. Yeah. So that's for those who haven't seen GitHub before. That's GitHub, and there's a repository, the compensation repository, where all compensation requests every month are created. At the moment, there is nothing there yet because we recently ran the compensation, the voting for February. So I will
Christoph, go to one of the close ones. I was going to say, so they can see an example.
Yeah. So let's have a look on MC. So that's how a compensation request could look like. So in your case, it really doesn't need a lot. So maybe in the title, if you create a new issue, I can show you. So if you create a new issue, you will have a little template. In the title, maybe you write Bitcoin US dollar liquidity week, and then you have to add the Bisq bounty in your, it's 20 Bisq tokens. In the address, for that, you need to have, of course, as you participated, you have the Bisq client already installed. I will just show you how to find out your Bisq.
Yeah, many people haven't even seen the DAO section of
it's
hidden. It's hidden for now because it's very early.
So I will stop again and share now my Bisq client. So present to everyone. So that's actually the live client. Let's see on the US dollar market. Still looks pretty good. So at the moment, you don't see the DAO setting as it's hidden by default. So depending if you use a Windows machine or a Mac or a Linux, you either click on Command D, or Control D to make the DAO setting visible. So it's on the upper right. And if you click there you have your Bisq wallet address. And that's actually the address I will now switch back to the other dialog, to the issues. So, okay. So that's the address you just saw. Let me just go. Has to be entered in here. So you just paste your ad. Yeah.
Sorry, Christoph, to join Bisq's GitHub, do you need an invitation or what?
I think you can create an issue without being part of the contributor list. But if you also want to show up as a contributor, which makes sense actually, you need to talk to Chris Beams on Slack, for example. So he invites you to the organization. But just to create the issue, you can do this without being part of the organization.
Right. So basically 2 steps. 1, join GitHub.
Yeah.
2, go to the compensation GitHub repo in Bisq network and create one of these issues with a template.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yes, that's really simple. And maybe if you want in details, you can maybe talk about your experience. Yeah, the more you write, the better. But actually, it's just create this issue, write you want 20 Bisq token, or paste in your Bisq address, and that's all you need. So I will switch now back to the presentation. A lot of switching back and forth today. So see if I've missed something. Yeah, and I will post the links after the call in the description. Yes, so after the Liquidity Week was over, we posted a Twitter poll asking you guys which market we should tackle next. And we got 167 votes in total. And there was one clear winner with more than 60%. So the next Liquidity Week, of course, always after the Liquidity Week is before Liquidity Week. The next big Liquidity Week will be for Great Britain pounds, or the British pounds. It will take place from the 2nd to 8th of April. So it's the first week of April, right after Christmas. If you didn't had the chance to join the US dollar Liquidity Week, maybe it's easy for you to join this Liquidity Week in the first week of April. The only thing that you need to participate is having a trade account that have a Bisq client, and you need to be able to trade British pounds, which doesn't need that you are a British resident, but you just have, maybe you have a Revolut account. You can just easily create a British pound account and join the Liquidity Week as well. So I think
yeah, in fact, that's what I intend to do. I'm going to use Revolut because I don't have a bank account in the UK.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a way to help out. You don't have to risk much money. Just place a couple of small orders for whatever, £10, £20, just to participate and show activity and help newcomers see that there's people there.
Yeah. So regarding payment methods, I just had a look. The most popular ones are faster payments, national bank transfer, and SEPA, but I think 60% something is faster payments. Of course, we didn't have Revolut a couple of weeks ago, so that might be also interesting. So if you are from Great Britain and there is a payment method that we should add for the Liquidity Week, please contact us and we'll see if we can integrate it. But I think at the moment we are ready with the national bank transfer, faster payments, and also with Revolut, we have a couple of payment options available that would work. Also, of course, if your home currency needs a little push, in your opinion, and you want to help to your currency to grow on the Bisq network, then please visit our growth repository. Maybe I'm sharing so much at the moment. I will just share that as well, so you have an idea what I'm talking about actually. So I will just switch to there is like the compensation repository, there's also a growth repository. And if we go into issues, you see that we have created already a couple of issues for different liquidity weeks. So there's the next one for British pounds. There's one for Canadian dollars, Australian dollars. Those two were number 2 and 3 on the voting. And just to have another example, I've added for Chinese yen as well. So if you want to join one of the liquidity weeks, let's go into the Great Britain one. Then please just add a thumbs up here in the liquidity week issue, so that we know that you want to participate, and it's easier for us to communicate and organize the kickoff event.
Yeah, please. This priority will absolutely be driven by demand. So if a lot of people ask for yuan, and we actually have people, willing to participate and willing to help, we will push yuan right ahead, and it will be the next one. Or if a lot of people want Australian dollars, or if many people want Indian rupees, demand will determine what we do, because we are not doing anything. It's the participants in the Bisq network who will make this a success or a failure. And there's no point, having a party if nobody's coming. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we'll just start presenting. So maybe one more thing, as I mentioned in the beginning, that we want to use these calls to talk about the learnings on the liquidity week. I just wrote down a couple of points. Maybe Felix, you also have a couple of insights, or do you want to start with your learnings on the liquidity week?
Yeah, I'll be quick. Basically, instant payment methods are amazing. I had been trading using SEPA mostly, and most SEPA transfers, depending on which country to which country, but they mostly take about 48, sometimes 24, but often 48 hours. The difference between making a trade and having to wait a couple of days to complete the process, and using something like Revolut or Cash App, where 10 minutes after you've had the blockchain confirmation, you send the payment and you notify, and ideally within 15 minutes, if the guy on the other hand side is in communication with you. But if not, within an hour, you've normally completed the trade and got the Bitcoins or got the dollars or euros. Instant payment methods are amazing. I highly recommend them. And of course, for GBP, faster payments is instant. So that'd be great.
Yeah, that's really, because for me, so if you have let's say traded already on a centralized exchange like Kraken or so, the trade itself might be instant, but of course you have to cash out and cash in, and that takes, of course, maybe just days. And
I actually tested that this week, like live. I did a trade on Bisq via SEPA, and I did a trade on Kraken and withdrew via SEPA. So it was faster to do the trade on Kraken, I won't lie. But then the withdrawal took 48 hours for Kraken, and it only took 24 hours for Bisq. And if I had used, and that's because I was using SEPA. If I was using SEPA instant payments or UK faster payments or some other payment method, it would be much faster. So it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah, another learning I've written down is that it takes time to get all participants ready for a liquidity week. So it worked out. It worked out every time really well. But in the beginning, it's a lot of communication from our side and get everyone on board. So we have everyone ready for the liquidity week. And let me see what I've written else. Yeah, actually the live trading event was really great. You Felix and Chris did together as a kind of a launch event, trading in the currency. Also, a couple of people wrote in the comments that they really liked it, and maybe that we should do also this kind of live trading events, setting up a Bisq account also for this payment method. So to show how easy it is actually.
I'm happy to do it for pounds, for Great British pounds with Revolut. I can't do faster payments, but we do actually have a video tutorial for faster payments, and it will help in preparations, because the idea is to attract new people, right? Not just to get together everyone who's used Bisq to try and use it at the same time, but also on that occasion when there's more activity to attract newbies. And it always takes time for newbies to learn about Bisq, learn the security deposit, actually downloading an app, all that stuff. That tutorials help, hand-holding helps.
Yeah, and it's great that we have already a trading tutorial, as you said, for British pound. So check it out if you want to join the liquidity week and haven't traded on Bisq so far. It's a great start. And the last thing, yeah, you mentioned already the new payment methods that we added shortly before the liquidity week really got me the feeling, or that it can enable new markets. So maybe if we add WeChat for Chinese yen as well, that might make a great liquidity week.
I really want to try WeChat. But in time.
Yeah.
By the time we do China liquidity week, it'd be great.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, is there any other learning, Felix, you want to talk about? Otherwise, I think that's it from my side at least.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, perfect. So we talked a lot about liquidity weeks today, but our growth calls are not just about liquidity week itself. So my question for you is, if you have an idea how we can grow Bisq, not only by pushing markets with these liquidity weeks, then please write your idea in the comments below, or contact us on Slack in the growth channel. We are quite active there, and we are happy to support you if you want to join the Bisq contributor team, basically. So I will just quickly check the live chat if I've missed anything.
Let me just rant for a second, Crystal, before I check the chat.
Yeah.
Every single week, there is a centralized exchange on the news, either being shut down, being hacked, being restricted by regulators. This week, it was all the Japanese ones. But the week before that, it was, actually, no, I think it was like 2 days ago, there was a problem with Binance. Yeah. Every single week, there was a problem with centralized exchange. And just as a cherry on top, we actually got some news on Mt. Gox. Like the ghost of Mt. Gox came to see us this week. So please remember Mt. Gox. That is why decentralized exchanges, where you keep control of your own funds, are important. It's better to try Bisq now and see the difference than find out the hard way.
Yeah, that's great. A great ending for this call. So thanks, Felix, for being here today, and thanks you guys for joining the live stream. And talk to you soon next week on Thursday. And I think we might even have another tech talk, tech session next week again with Manfred and Chris. So just subscribe on the channel, and you won't miss out on any live stream we do. So see you soon. Bye.